what a way to kick off Masters Bangkok EDG. They take overtime against Team Liquid. I am your host, Yingson. I'm back here with Kakuka and Mimi. I mean, this is the way that we want to start a tournament, but Mimi, we don't always get something as exciting as this.
I mean, that was ridiculous. Double no senti comps are just walking at each other. It goes down to some crazy individualism, but EDG, they just shined in the chaos at the end there.
I think that it's very important what you're saying, right? The chaos, they thrive in that. The more messy the round gets, the more deeper we go into the map and into the match, they just feel more comfortable.
I mean, we spoke about whether Kangkang can do the back-to-back bracelet. If we take a look at the HyperX reflex moment of the day, it turns out maybe, just maybe, Kakuka, if he keeps doing this, he can.
Man, I think that this was an insane shot. He hears the showstopper, flies back, just... I need to see that in slow-mo because it's just beautiful. He also had one with the Sheriff that was also unreal, and that somehow is a headshot.
That is insane. It wasn't even luck or like he was moving or anything. He just precisely, perfectly tapped rays out of the sky and dashed out. I mean, Kangkang, still ridiculous. No matter the year, no matter the situation, this guy performs.
And I love Kiko's reaction there as well. He's like, fair enough, you know.
What can you do about that?
Apparently
Sometimes
this is what happens when you come into the international stage.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. But you do have to give it for the duelist players on the other side as well. Kakuka, they also did incredibly well against EDG.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Kiko had a great performance at the beginning of the map. I think that Camel, once he got onto the operator and then later onto the attack, I think that he was key into some of the ideas that Team Liquid wanted to put on the table. But I'm actually surprised because with all the changes that EDG had brought into here, seeing a Jet on split, that's something that we do not see that often. I really saw the intention behind it, which in so many cases with EDG was missing.
Yeah, and if we take a look at some of the things that happened later on the map as well, this round from EDG, which originally, Mimi, could have been a round for Liquid.
It should have been. This is a sick round for Liquid. They have the read that EDG is going for these ramp refights on their defense. They send everyone there. It's so well set up. A plant down, an advantageous post plant. This was Team Liquid's opportunity to win the game. And then at the very end, things start going wrong as EDG goes in for their retake. And this one just ends with a missed suck. Losing them this round. Team Liquid then goes to overtime, and it just falls to pieces. In some ways, it feels like a return to form of early Team Liquid with these little mistakes, ruining rounds for them.
And just like this one, which was, you know, painful to see from that side also because the nade then falls and you think that, you know, they could have sprayed, but they, you know, had no way of knowing. It also brings us back to what happened in the pistol round. They could have possibly won that round, but because of that last TP of Common just going back, and I believe Chicho having the spike, there are so many occasions where Team Liquid was just on the receiving end of EDG just having this massive run.
Yeah, I mean, that was the game pretty much in that round, but EDG went it out. They're so good at finding the opportunities when their opponent makes a mistake, and now they're up a map in the series.
They are indeed, and let's check in with Mika Fabs and EDG's coach, Muggle.
Hey guys, I'm here right now with Muggle of EDG and Luna, of course, to help with some translation. That was a very intense first map. We noticed some composition changes though. Can you tell us maybe whose idea was that? How did that come about?
我们在图一看到了一些变阵，能不能告诉我这些是谁的想法，谁的主意呢？
之前我们这张地图就是对于除了太湖以外另一个先锋的位置挺纠结的，然后参考了 Sentinels 的阵容，然后角度上选择了我们康康更适合的接锋，对。
Like other than Taiho, we are really confused about another initiator about this choice, and we learned from Sentinels about how to another like initiator, and also we choose the duelist for Kangkang as Jet. It's more suitable for him.
That is perfect. Well, best of luck to you guys.
Such an interesting answer there. They've obviously been watching what the other regions were doing while they were on their break, and also you had some questions about why the Jet, and it's just purely down for comfort pick.
I think that it has to do with the trade denial that I was mentioning, because in so many occasions we see Kangkang that is not being set up, and from the defense he just goes with the operator, trying and hunt for a kill, and in so many cases they were right. We also saw them using the utility to prevent where Nats plays every single time that he plays on split, and I think that the preparation was very good from that.
It was an incredible map one to watch, but I think this puts Team Liquid now in a very scary position because they're going into a map that they were 0-3 on in the regular season and in that run-up in EMEA, and they haven't really they've been able to find a solution. They've changed their comp once on this map. They've still lost it every time, and this is a very comfortable position for EDG.
It is indeed, and Pearl, I think, is probably the only map of Liquid that I felt like they tried the same thing as all the other maps, right, Kukuka? They tried to change something, and then the change was amazing, and then they don't need to change again. But it just never worked for Pearl.
Yeah, I think that regionally in EMEA, it's not like this is a map that we love. I think that this is a very America's map. Ours is Fracture. We love Fracture any given day. But especially this map, I think also having Nats in something that is not the Cypher or the Viper that we've seen in so many times going on to the Vice. I think that probably we can expect some changes or some tweaking around. Probably they just need more reps on the map. But I'm also looking forward to see if it's EDG going to be changing something.
Well, hopefully we can get those answers from Team Lohan, who's standing by with Mika Fabs ahead of map 2.
Hey guys, I'm here now with Lohan of Team Liquid. That was a very intense first map, and now you have Pearl coming up next. The team's history isn't exactly the greatest on this map, so I was wondering, you know, could you say something to maybe keep the fears of the fans at bay, ease their worries or something, because you can't blame them if they're maybe feeling a little bit uneasy about this one.
I mean, I don't think it matters the map that we're playing. What matters is we play together, we play as a team. We're confident on the map, we're confident in ourselves, and we're going to show a different face on this game, 100%.
Love to see that confidence. Good luck to you guys.
I like the confidence, but fact of the matter is, even in EMEA during their run, they've never had to come back from a losing position, Mimi. They always won map 1 of Abyss, usually, and they've never really had to trail from behind, so I'm questioning a little bit of their mental as well.
And they also probably haven't played against an EDG-style team on this map before. They're applying the Neon. No one in EMEA Americas is really leaning into that the way that EDG is, and Kung takes over games on this one. EDG's been undefeated on Pearl thus far in the run-up in China, so this is indeed a very worrying position for TL.
Well, you know, they had a close overtime. I think that there is some shining light. I like what Lohan was saying there, because also it's a big test for him and the assistant coach as well, just coming into the international event. There are some tells that I've been seeing in the way that EDG plays the map. Like, for example, Kankan is not that big of a fan of like taking B long, something that we see a lot, and just plays a little bit different, just mostly focus on A and just putting that trident of them pushing on that side of the map. And I want to see if those tells are still here, because we keep talking about this month of preparation.
And speaking of that preparation, I like the way the Muggle was like, yeah, we just copy Sentinels. They did something really good. I want Liquid to do the same. I want them to take something from Americas.
And what I want to see is them go back into the Vice. They tried the Vice comp last time they played. I think that is the best counter to this Neon. Wall is going to be separated Kung off. They're going to have to play very slowly to deal with the Thorns, deal with that Shear across every round on the attacking side for EDG. It's going to force EDG to slow down, and I think the same way they did some of those early split rounds when they were on their attacking side. So very hopeful they go back to the Vice here.
Is it a hot take to say that I don't really want Nats to play the Vice?
But do you want Liquid to play the Vice?
I want with someone else.
Kamek
Kamek could do it. I think Kamek could definitely play a nice Vice out of it. Paddy could also do it. I just don't want to see Nats on. I don't know why. I wasn't super convinced by it the last time I saw it.
But they've also had time to grow on it, and I think this is one of the agent's strongest maps. He's great as a solo anchor, and I honestly, I do hope to see it again, even if it is a different player lock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to see it again, but maybe just on a different player.
I think that when we hear Lohan speaking about is playing as a team, is playing comfortable, I do not see it that crazy if they just go back to putting Nats on Cypher and just let him roam across the map.
I will say that the util, when we're talking about the attack side for EDG, honestly will probably look even better here. I haven't been a huge fan of Nobody's Tail. I feel like he uses the missiles very infrequently, is missing out on a lot of the combo plays you can do there. But when they play these kind of Sova, KO, simple double initiator comps to just set Kung up to send it, I think that is where these EDG boys shine in setting up their duelists.
And I love the fact that you're mentioning the KO. I think the way that they presented both from the defense and from the attack, again, there's a lot of tells, but they can be so proactive, they can be so EDG when that knife hits, that I think also could be game changing.
And the other thing that Lohan mentioned that you said about playing as a team, you know, the teamwork and stuff, they cannot be throwing 3 5v3s. That is insanity. Out of 6 5v3s, they threw 3. I think that probably would have been a difference maker on the last map.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in any of those situations, I think that when we're watching and when people are watching at home, when you see Kankan still alive, the final boss is still there. He's always good for 2, always good for 3. I love the trading that they were having on Split, and we can tell that their nerves are definitely there for players like Kami.
Yeah, 3 players on this team for Team Liquid. It's their first time playing at a global event in Valorant. The pressure's high going up against the world champion who, let's be honest, EDG has some crazy aura. You're going up against Kong Kong. You're going up against the guys who won it all last year. That's a big ask for players making their debut on the global stage. And I think that pressure mounts even further as you're now down a map.
And also, the chat, you guys are really, this is a very 50-50 poll, you know, between EDG and Team Liquid, because on paper, you would lean more towards EDG on a map like Pearl.
Yeah, you would, but there has been time, right, for Team Liquid. They couldn't figure it out during EMEA, but they did have a bit of time to reset. I imagine they expected this, knowing they were going to go in and ban their Lotus. They know EDG's going to piss
I myself.
Yeah, I saw it myself as well. Let's pretend like none of us just saw what happened.
I didn't see it.
I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it. You're in for a treat.
I don't know if you're going to like it, but you're in for a treat.
I think she is.
You're definitely in for a treat because we do have Agent Select coming up in just a moment. Stop the count. Stop the count. We go for the 50-50. We go for the 50-50. But yeah, Kiko here not expected to play the duelist again. So I feel like this is where we actually see the role swap arc.
Honestly, if I'm talking like dream side anchors flying on this map, Kiko one side on the controller, Nats the other maybe on the Vice. That's a good lineup for me.
That's definitely
he's going to be somewhere. And looking at this, do you like it, Mimi? Do you like it?
Do you like it, Mimi?
You said you wanted them to be America's Pilled. This is very America's Pilled. Coming out with the Chamber Vice double controller on defense. You have tons of tools with Patty to hard anchor one side. Nats is going to be able to go for a lot of proactive looks with his Yoru camo. Walking up, TPing out. There's so many cool things.
But the coolest thing is seeing Kang on the Yoru. You know, I think that it is an agent that he hadn't been playing. I know that he played it in the past, not successfully, I have to say, in a maps like Bind. But him moving on to the Yoru, Ultra Chicho on the Vice. This composition also shows a different face that EDG did not need to show regionally.
When you play against Vice, I think you need to be locking the Yoru. So both these teams understanding that counter, dealing with the Vice utility is going to really be the win condition for EDG on this attack side.
Yeah, I want to just shout out BBL as well. You know, maybe Liquid learning something from them, but it's time to jump back into map 2 and throw this back over to Brandon Sideshow.
Thank you very much, gang. Yeah, this is it here. These are 2 teams that, listen, very America's Pill, Josh, as Mimi mentioned. Listen, we're going to be able to flex our regional expertise with this one. You've got a bit of Yoru in play.
This is literally, it is literally the same comps as G2 playing against Sentinels.
Isn't it?
I mean, Team Liquid have taken the G2 comp, EDG have taken the Sent comp. So now we get to see, for the first time for both of these teams, how good are they actually executing on it. So let's have a look at the pistol setup then. EDG looking to take some A control. Are they going to slow down after this?
Simon's Horn just rebounded into his face.
Time to jump. A push-up from Liquid on the other side of things. Nats and Camo both going walkabouts.
Yeah,
Getting active on the defense side is pretty good with this comp.
Team Liquid, it's not out of the ordinary from how they like to play. Question is, how much is Nats going to extend himself out?
Camo just escorted Nats into position and then teleported back.
Does a good job, I think, just getting rid of the drone. Nats is going to be...
This is a weird pathing, actually.
Yes,
because you've got to expect the wall to be here. It's the most standard position for it. So he's giving it away and now deciding to go all the way around. What's he up to?
Yep, up top, onto the high ground. Paddy, not enough bullets in the chamber to really do the job. Give him the business. Still, Kiko through the back of the site. Ghost in hand.
And now they're going to make the pivot. This is a right call from EDG. The wall got triggered over towards A main. You don't have A main control. You don't have a good entry into the site. It's time to call it quits and go back over to B. Yep. Team Liquid have got themselves a nice advantage here, though, even though they're going to be playing retake.
See what EDG opting for. Let's plant out. It's a weird spot at that.
Spike planted.
A few positions to play from, but what risks are going to be taken? Oh my, jump spot almost punished, not quite, backing away into halls now, and everybody retreating. Ingrained positions here for the EDG players. We're going to see if they can do some damage and rip off a few heads, but it's all Team Liquid so far. Get him a move on. This is a rapid play at that. Plenty of bodies ready to meet them, but Chichu he's got to do a bit more with that, and he's dropped down to just 10 HP. Surely too much for him to overcome, and that's bullets all it takes just from the Ghost himself. So that's going to be pistol round here for Team Liquid.
And showcasing that they're pretty comfortable with the defensive aggression side of this. Come on, Nats, combine it together, pushing up. They had a good defense over here towards Art as well. Bit of a whiff there right at the start that I missed on Simon's Haunt. Simon bounced it off some kind of object around the map and it just landed back in A main, which is not what they were going for.
Nice
yeah. I'm just showcasing as well that, listen, EDG might have had 2 weeks, I think, to try and prepare this composition, but still, it's going to be some growing pains.
We don't know when Team Liquid started playing this comp either.
It's very true.
So it's possible that both teams have been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
Neither of them love Pearl.
This is so risky by Camo, man. I mean, listen, not an eco, but at least against the eco. Don't want to give away the gun too early. Just gets the kill and gets himself out. Bit of pressure now over towards A.
Take a look at Nobody, wandering his way down B long. I think you'll see this a lot from this guy. Not a conventional way of playing the Tejo, but he loves going for these kind of attack side lurks, no matter what initiator he's playing. But he gets collected this time by Paditek. That's the kind of play that I think gives you a little bit of information as the IGL for how much you can get away with in the future.
Kang was hard inserted there just at the beginning of the round, I think. Hoping that Team Liquid potentially rotate off. They're making their way over towards B. Flash gets the acknowledgement, so Paddy now knows he's going to be facing all sorts of these players, but backs himself away after just receiving the one he's low up.
Just wants to play his life in this spot.
Yeah.
Play for the reinforcements.
Make it awkward. If he can deny the plan as well, it'll be good, and he does do just that. So, it's 2 on the board, flawless here for Team Liquid.
I hear Fade has trouble sleeping.
Eyes are going to be fully on Kang for this Yoru, but also Nats on the other side. I want to know a mad stat. It's only the 6th time Kang has ever played Yoru, and it's also only the 7th time Nats has ever played Chamber, which, considering that they've been around in the scene for so long, and these have been options that you could go to. We've had our metas for, I mean, now is really the meta for Yoru, but we've certainly had our Chamber metas in the past. Not the kind of players that have opted into it. Here's a big A main fight.
Yeah, you're going to see this fight taking place. Guns in hand, Team Liquid. They're going to try and save the day themselves, but Camo just saves his own life in the process. Backs himself out. Barely alive on 17 health. Gives up the A side for EDG here, but it's 3 versus 3.
Team Liquid will be fairly happy with that clash. I mean, they were the ones with a bit worse weaponry.
Going re-exploring.
A lot of it came down to Patty there. Had to win that fight, I think, and keep some art control.
Sees up and over the top here. Simon potentially looking to reposition off of it. He's worried though. Potentially worried about main. I think he might have just heard that one. Yeah, the TP. So he's got his eyes trained onto the spot. Camo almost winning that one out, but with one left, standing headhunter in hand for Nats himself. Can't quite get it done there. So EDG get that round on the board. No bonus round conversion here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, trading out pretty heavily over towards A main, making sure that they get these kills off the back of the Tejo drone. Little bit whiffy there from the Liquid players. They'll be hoping for a better occurrence. But also important to note, Chishu has got off the bat here really strong. I mean, he was amazing on split as well. I think he ended up being the highest performing fragger for EDG, but he's got his Vice ult online for round 4. So an opportunity now to break Team Liquid's economy by getting some good value out of this. And Team Liquid are trying to deny him mid.
Again, just creeping up onto the angles. Similar play. Kamek can try and afford this one, but Kamek can't afford to be losing his life. Not in that spot. And now a rapid go around. The ones are going to be popped off Paddy. There's pressure on him. It's going to be tested, but oh my, no one watching for that potential option. Off to the side as a steel guard and let loose. Makes his way across into the site and a shorty into the hands of Paddy. Tries to earn himself that upgrade. Not that it would have been much help in the end. Still trying to maintain control and shut them down in through lane. Team Liquid, every avenue accounted for.
And that having missed the timing in mid completely. I mean, they thought that with Camo taking that walkout into mid, it wasn't possible for EDG to be in B-Link that fast. That's why you see Kamek just running away at the very start of the round. This timing, Kamek thinks that mid is secure because of Camo's information.
Yeah.
But it's this refight into B-Link from Camo and Paddytech that squeezed EDG. And that's also kind of frying in this spot at top heaven.
Let's go, boys. Round by round. I need one.
Taking that back.
Basically the same idea again here for Liquid. This time Nats gets punished holding that angle.
Saw plenty of thrifties on the other side of things here, but maybe EDG's time to shine. And Camo, he's got that get out of jail free card. We'll opt to use it, but at this point you've already lost 2 of your players. Horns layered down in through lane. Paddy was going to be slowing down a potential approach. EDG did set their sights over towards it, but calling for a pause.
Yeah, and think about this from nobody's perspective. On a prior eco round, he realized nobody was fighting B. There was no resistance there. This time, though, Paddytech is pushed up to pillar.
This is so brave.
He could get run down.
Yeah, he absolutely could. He's just spotted
Uh-oh.
the players.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is problem. Territory, dimensional drift. Yeah, that's the danger, man. Knife out. You've been playing Europe, you've been bracketing it, and Kangkang showing a bit of promise on it. We could take that timing. The rip into the ult, and now Camo. He's hoping to do a bit more damage. Kangkang, though, he is the danger in this one. 3 already in it. Make it 4. It's a cherry on top, and a thrifty presented by MasterCard.
And if you were expecting a nice, clean game between these teams, I mean, first of all, I would ask, have you been watching them so far at kickoff? Because they've certainly shown the ability to get real down in the mud at times. But this game, even more so than Split, potentially, which went 18-16, back and forward, eco rounds all over the place. This map, I think, is actually worse in both teams' map pool than Split. And they're playing new comps for the first time. So the potential for chaos is so high.
Listen, I thought we were going to get a breather into this map, but clash after clash and engagements here. I mean, Nats has just hopped his way back up onto the Ang.
That is a great shot as well. One bullet, Headhunter, takes out Kangkang. Surely EDG are not going to lose an anti-eco.
Surely no back-to-back thrifties.
And Nats, he's picked up the op, which means now he can hold this angle over towards B. That allows Paddytech to rotate over towards mid. And Team Liquid can go either stack A or go for some kind of info re-exploration throughout mid.
Makes a lot of sense. They are giving up a lot of mid control, though. But Team Liquid obviously still on the weaker buy, so they're not going to be worried too much about that. Just hoping that Nats can get a bit of info. Nats is hearing, I think, a bit of util being used out towards lane, so he's set his sights over towards that angle, and there's that level of awareness. You can see Team Liquid holding possible little nooks and crannies. Hornet flying forwards. This is going in multiple different directions, trying to pull rotations and players away, but there's still one to be angering. This is it in through the back of the side. Kiko, Sheriff, rattling off the shots. Can't quite get that one done. Still with the steel guard, and maybe there's a little bit more, but gonna have to opt into the secondaries now. And EDG on equal footing with these Liquid players. Sidestep in, happy feet. Paddytech, short work.
The post plant here, though, should be really good from EDG, especially with this kill from Simon.
No one's watching the mid looks.
That's cleaned up. Salvo's available. Armageddon as well, if things do get truly ridiculous.
Salvo's for the first tap.
But I think that's the win con here for Team Liquid, is get the ult out. Make nobody scared.
The tap, gotta believe that they could be off of this one. Still with the Armageddon committed. That's Simon gone. He's dusted. Out towards the back here. Rifle's gonna be picked up. The time ticking away here. And with the damage done, listen, precision, not necessary.
The guns, the guns,
but
the
EDG,
guns.
Gotta keep these weapons, no celebrating.
All good.
All good, all good, all good.
All good. You see nobody hopping around at the end there. You know he's going for the fist bumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so EDG managed to navigate an anti-eco situation, but they did have to burn pretty big ultimates. They used the Fade ult to fake over towards B, just to be able to get the plant down, and then they had to use Armageddon in the post, so... a spot here where Liquid have got an opportunity. Things are settling down again, rifles online. But it's pretty much a must-win round here for the defenders from EMEA. They're taking attack timeout to discuss what they need to shift around. And we can see that Nats has bought the operator. So that could be a crucial tool for them to be able to use. We saw him get posted over towards A main at the start of last round.
I'm curious in terms of positioning of where Nats is going to be playing, because at least when we've watched G2 play this comp, mid control, pretty heavy presence, I think, for the chamber player. Towards A and towards R, right? Well, that's how they want to be using it. Just to plug up the gaps that potentially are there from mid-looks of EDG could opt into. We saw evidence of that, at least on the prior round, even though Team Liquid were on the weaker buy, so that's probably why they were there. But
one of the things
where he wants to place this op.
One of the things I think also that's crucially important with this Team Liquid composition is that you're gaining info in A main somehow. I mean, this round it looks like it's going to be Nats getting posted with the operator, but in previous rounds or in future rounds, they're going to need to use the Sova too. I mean, Trent does this amazingly for G2, where he's always regaining information in A main. Those are the details that can get missed when you copy somebody else's comp.
These are the liberties afforded to you when you're playing onto the Yoru, but that drone... Wait a second.
Surely.
No way.
Surely.
No way. No clearance at all, and he's got the hell out of there!
That's rough. I mean, that is just a straight-up error from nobody. That's one of the main angles that you need to be checking. I don't know how he doesn't think about that. And this looks like Shishu's going to go walkabouts. Master v Apprentice.
Uh-oh. We'll see who ends up on top. Oh, yep.
He took the teleport.
He did.
Perfect timing.
Back. Meanwhile, into the smoke. That's Paddy. Watchful eye onto it. Contact plays called out. All baited out. Spike retrieved, but a lot more to do from this point if you are Smoggy, and Chichu's on the opposite side of the map.
I mean, this round has gone disastrously for EDG.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. A small error. And it only takes a small error, but you have to be looking for the Yoru and the Chamber all the time. I mean, one of the biggest strengths of this composition on defense is that the Yoru and Chamber can be playing on such weird angles because they have that ability to get out.
I'll say, I mean, it's good presence of mind, I think, from Liquid as well. Camo in that spot. I'm not sure who was helping him out onto the site, but not breaking the drone there.
Yeah.
To not give away his position. Smoggy, you going to make a go at this one with 20 seconds left? I don't think so. Chichu's on the opposite side of the continent, so unlikely.
And to shoot nobody a little bit of bail as well.
10 seconds
What he was doing with the drone was hard clearing pillar. And pillar's a pretty common position for the Chamber to be playing, because you've got the range with your teleport to be able to get out to Jenny. And so that was probably what was going through nobody's head. It's not just that he's oblivious.
The telly working? You could do some drawing. Come out. Some educating.
I could. But alas, we're not actually in America's friend.
I didn't even know if we had a telly, mate. I'm going to be honest. I was just saying it. Yeah.
This positioning inside the smoke as well, not what EDG were anticipating or expecting.
Here.
Kamik started the previous round droning out through Art, which is weird when you already have the trademark there.
Yeah.
I think maybe just trying to push them back from early breaking that piece of info. Mats is going to get posted up again. He missed the timing on Shishu's lurk last time. But there's that drone, finding the Yoru, pushing the Yoru back with the salvos.
Breaking the thorns in the process. Camo waiting for the time to strike. Is the util being expended? They're going straight up the gut. Okay, EDG making it awkward for Team Liquid.
Kamik gets pushed out, but Kankang needs an escape lever and has to go so far away from the rest of the team. This is going to end in an A split, and Nat still has A main control.
Nico about to be tested. He's going to try and push back this assault that's about to be occurring here. Nats with that A main control. Again, he could be a playmaker. He could be the man of the match, but okay.
He shot the clone.
He did indeed, and Kankang obliged in return. I think he was still alive and kicking out towards the back here. The Salvos might just push him out of position. No, not quite. They're not going to clear him. He can just spam himself through the wall. There's 40 seconds left roughly into the round. Camo lets it loose with a dimensional drift, and the crosshair placement. It's impeccable. It's perfect. And from Team Liquid across the board, more than ready for it.
Look at that sad cosmic divide towards the end from Smoggy, hoping that the rest of the team was still going to be alive.
Yeah.
That shows you a difference in tempo. EDG were hoping that they could slowly get in, use their ultimate, and Team Liquid forced the fight. EDG not ready for it, even with Kankang picking up the op and holding towards Flowers. He misses the shot, goes down, and Camo and Kamik come up with the goods. EDG here are going to take attack timeout to figure out what to do about this. And to EDG's credit, even though this is their map pick, you have no idea what Team Liquid are cooking here.
No,
because yeah, they've been bad on Pearl in EMEA. They've gone 0-3, but the chances that they're going to change something when they don't ban it first round. I know that Yinsu on the desk was talking about this. They
Sent for a trap play, right?
They absolutely trapped Lotus during EMEA, and now it looks like they're trapping Pearl as well. So Lotus goes into the permaban territory, not going to see the Reina, and instead we get this G2 comp, and by the look of it,
relief for that.
They're playing it pretty well.
They are. It's going well for EDG side. Like, there's so many things to consider when you're playing against this comp, because as we mentioned, like when you're running the chamber and the Yoru, there's just too much map control that you have to try and push back.
Yeah.
Deep positions of the Yoru and the chamber, it's a lot to account for. And granted, they've got a good comp for it. I mean, the Teo is fantastic for trying to break the common positions of where a chamber might be set up, just off the rip at the beginning of the round.
Actually, quite a lot of those positions.
But it requires, I think, VOD review and prep, which they wouldn't have expected this comp, I think, coming out for this match here.
But also, think about where the chamber currently has the teleport. You could put it there, or you could put it 2 meters to the left and dodge a salvo. And that's not really the case on maps like Abyss. It has to be in one specific spot.
That's true.
On this map, there's a little bit more variety with where you can put the TPs.
But he not going to be making the same mistakes. That's exploring out towards mid.
And one big tool that EDG have to work with is this dimensional drift. Kang will be able to run some kind of big, fast exec, or by the look of it, possibly even a fake.
I mean, the spike's nowhere near, so...
And he's got the teleport gate crash over in spawn, so this, I think, is a B fake into A.
Okay.
It's just... No, it's a...
They're going to go back into B?
Yeah, they're going back into B here, aren't they?
Paddy, though, has been proactive with this flash onto the back wall. And it looks like he might want to go for it. Double flash play with a dart on top of it. Triggers onto the first one. Paddy doesn't have it, it's on cooldown for now, but it's going to be that dimensional drift, and here it is. Kang spotting out these players, multitudes at that. Let's it rip. He's let loose now into the back of the hall, so he's carved out a bit of a path for his team to play in here. Simon with that plan, nothing to push that one back either, so Team Liquid going into the retake here, but already going players down. It's topsy-turvy for Liquid. What was looking like potentially a good setup, but they're just losing fights outright.
Chichi was set up on that B-Link lurk. Team Liquid gonna commit to this? They would lose the operator.
So, not with the operator in hand. You need a kill.
It looks like they're going forwards, though.
I think this is trolling ever so slightly. Kamek, though, might be making me eat my words. I'm all here for it. Give us a game. Making a go. Still off to the side. Kamek still doing damage as well, but time is ticking. And this is where the problems arise. Backing himself away. Smoggy's on for an ace. And Nats does not want to give it to him.
No, there's no world in which Smoggy gets his ace here. Nats is backpedaling as fast as his little legs will take him. The op saved, so disaster averted. And Team Liquid still have the money to be able to work with, so they did a little bit of damage there to EDG's economy, but overall, these two picks that came out, I mean, that one is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Paditek falling a B-Link just on a crack angle.
Yeah.
Brutal. And a very slow controlled round, considering that EDG ran into that one with a Yoru ultimate.
That's a nice change of pace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Catch my breath a bit from that first match.
They're going to push up towards B long to start here, Team Liquid, while Nats collects any kind of reaction in mid.
Perched up, just onto the box, and unexpected is the angle. So Kang just wades right into it.
That, you actually do need to respect that. When you see teams that are pretty good at Pearl, they'll be walking in there with a Prowler. They won't just be face-checking that angle. I think that's a bit of an error from Kang, especially playing against a comp that has two people that are playing on unorthodox spots. It's going to be much harder for EDG to pull off this A-split now.
EDG managed to walk their way up through most of the way, so they've got a lot of util saved, ready for the rainy day, which might be around about now. Okay, Salvo's in through the back, doesn't clear most of it. There was a shot rattled off from the op, so might put the fear of God in them.
One thing that EDG did a lot in China with their previous composition is this kind of pathing where they go down art and then through mid back into B-Link. And it can be really difficult to defend against. It's an uncommon pathing from the attack side, but this time, Team Liquid had nobody there. It's not like you could catch Nats or Kamek holding over.
I'm a bit confused at EDG's game plan as well, though.
They were just looking for a pick for the last 30 seconds. They haven't found one. They've got to end in an A-split or left. Save. Those are the only options available to them, and I assume they're going to give it a go. They have the money.
20 seconds to clear out these players towards the backside of pit, though. They're going to be problems. Smoggy with a plan, anything to push it back. It's a Hunter's Fury, but guess what? He's committing it. Smoggy Hey up. Narrowly avoiding it. One burst connects, but not the second or the third, so he's still alive here to play a bit forwards, but the positioning is expected. Predictable. Kiko happy to capitalize, and he takes it one step forward. Camo up onto the flank, dodging, juking. Chichu can't see a bloody thing. Blind as anything, yet still wins that fight out. Dominates the angle. It's important to control A main, and Simon with the slam bloody dunk.
A 2v4 for EDG in a round where they looked lost and clueless. How have they done that? Utterly remarkable from Chishu. I think Camo is going to be kicking himself for how he played that fight in A main. He was so timid. He full blinded Chishu about 3 different times, double flashed and with the clone, and he was just so timid to take the fight.
Yeah.
He was waiting for Panitek to pinch and pincer. And Chishu killed them both. And then Simon leaps out of a smoke, and somehow we're at 5-5. What is going on in this game?
Get the individuals when you watch EDG. EDG stepping up to the challenge, up through mid here. Close quarters action. Nazi was cutting it up close. Still down and out, and these players are just flooding into mid. Anything to stem the bleeding.
Nazi. What a shot. A 2v4 in one direction, maybe a 2v5 possible. And it would be a big blunder from EDG to allow this round to slip.
Can't split up too much though. They've left Chichu essentially alone. He's on an island up through mid. He's going to be trying to get information himself, but Kiko also is not holding anything back, of course. He wants to get a gun for himself, and he will. Recycling in process.
This should speed things up for EDG. They know that somebody's heavy on the flank. They've still got a 4v2 post plan. It really looks impossible here, especially with the way that EDG were shooting at the start of this round.
Spike planted.
Look, I want to go for it. Okay, Simon, watchful eye, off onto the flank.
Enemy remaining.
Good cross-set placement. Predicts exactly where Paddy's going to be walking straight back into him. Kiko just being stalled out, swamped with util. He's only missing the kitchen sink, and it's going to be that triple face towards the end. So, lead just by the 1 round here for EDG, but
Last round
it still feels as back and forth as Split was.
it does, yeah.
I remember back to Split thinking Team Liquid could run away with the first half here. And then EDG made a resurgence towards the end in a pretty similar manner to what we've just seen. Pulling off that 2v4, potential backbreaker for Team Liquid. And here, I think pushing mid on the eco round is probably the most standard, expected thing you could do. Potential to run some kind of elaborate fake setup here with EDG's ults they have online.
Drone going out.
But just starting things off early, trying to clear these spots, jumping up, clearing the pillar,
Timing! Kangang still steps up. Single-handedly dismisses Nats there.
Good try from Nats, though.
Yeah. We'll respect it. Salva's going to be used to clear the way, mostly. Tight corners. Breaks up any potential Thorn, util. Could impede this potential hit, but it's all just a bit of presence. Fake pressure at that, recall, and the refight called at that. Kang, he's got a bloody dart in his face.
But he's
I think
left
not
nobody.
quite. He has, with the spike in hand. It's a bit of a bailout. Team Liquid don't even realize how lucky they potentially were. And going walking and exploring out towards the lane. It's Chichu ripping Kamek's head off.
This is going to be so tough for Liquid, even with the ults that they have online here. Cosmic Divide is obviously great for going for a retake, but Paddy's so far away. Might even get caught in mid by Simon on the lurk. I don't know why Simon's been hard lurking with Nightfall.
Angle, Salvo as well. Comes about here. Players almost lining up for it, but EDG going for that clean sweep. We're attempting for it. Paddy still alive off to the side, and he has that steel guard. It's the final round. You might as well expend it, and he's getting the move on at that. Lets it loose. Unleashed now and takes the fight before they can even get ready for the setup. It's a 2v1.
Does he think about Chishu being behind?
I mean, this is just so damn unlikely. Pull just for that first tap. Paddy's got so many obstacles to navigate, and of course he doesn't expect it. A wraparound from on high. Chichu, the IGL himself, delivering that 2-round lead.
Switching sides.
A 7-5 half and a big recovery. A big recovery. And Chishu is 13-5. What a monster he's been today. Making sure that Nats has been put on notice.
Enemy remaining. Blinding.
EDG bringing a bit of passion, a bit of fury as well, showing that they are the reigning champs themselves. And we'll see just how far they can take it on the other side.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I just need to know what's on your mind.
Let's get to it then. It's a minor lead at that for EDG, just by 2 rounds, but are already leading overall in this series, just by that initial map, and they could take it that one step further. Nice little 2-0 win. Would be quite tidy for EDG.
And yet gutting for Team Liquid, because they had many opportunities, maybe not many map points, but many opportunities to be able to win on split. 18-16 on their map pick. A devastating loss puts them in uncomfortable territory on Pearl. Running an amazing comp. They've changed it up, both of these teams. But now we're in a spot where Team Liquid, I think, really need a pistol to be able to get on board. The way that these comps tend to work, Team Liquid's got that double sentinel, so it's really difficult for EDG to push out mid against this. You just end up running into Trademark, running into the wall. But Liquid are going to need some big results from Camo.
Where are you?
Delayed haunt from Simon. He's looking for that mid-round information towards A, and it wasn't broken, so options for Kung Kung if he wanted to go for that deep push, but mid is the goal here for Team Liquid. Drone sets the sight over towards at least lane, but it's Art that's really getting contested.
There.
They didn't clear nobody in B Link, but Nats has found this walk up over towards B.
So damn deep here.
There is a Vice wall, of course, so he can't full commit to it, but he knows where Chishu is now. And that is...
Yeah. Chishu giving the plot away here, and it's just a call for the 3-2-1 swing out from the players to the wall triggered. That's an attempt of a timing by Kiko. He's going to make a go of it. Still, he's trapped, tight to the corner once more, and EDG barely removing this guy, but still finding the value, and as the wall fades away, Nats ensures that nobody's going to be fading to black. Kang barely there. Flash backs himself out.
They have to go back and get the spike at this point still.
It's miles away.
And look at where Patty is. I mean, Patty and Nats could not be more disconnected from each other. And Kang looking great here on this pistol round.
It's a lovely one.
Determined to have EDG run away with a 2-0 to start at Bangkok. They have read that Nats is rotating, and I don't think it's a bad read. Because otherwise he abandoned Patty Tech, and that is what happened, but they had to go and get the spike. EDG are not reading into the fact that Team Liquid just left the spike in the shops.
It does leave Nats an open plant, an open site here. EDG look to play this one together. Simon has Haunt as well, so it's good util to clear out potential corners, and as long as you play together with that discipline and trade each other out, in theory, should go well, but you are up against Nats himself, and this guy, he's a menace.
It looks like it's planted for back halls. When do they decide to use the Haunt?
Beautiful, but timinged. Simon sticking, diffuse, potential half, and it's not quite planted for him, so the stick all the way through into the end. And it's Simon who saves the day for him. Nats, consolation prize with the kills at the end. Still, pistol round is what EDG are going to be happy with.
It's a net profit there, using the Headhunter bullet to get the kill. This pinch, well played by the EDG players. It's such a weird one, because Nats knows where Chishu is, calls for a crunch onto him, but then doesn't commit through the wall with Kiko. They get separated. And I think some of these coordination errors are starting to make a big difference. The fact that we haven't seen these two comps match tested from these teams. There's promise for sure in terms of them both having great records here on Pearl potentially, but the details are getting missed in some of these rounds.
That's a suppression onto Paddy. Looking his way around. This is very much almost desperation in terms of the buy, but what is occurring here? Smoggy walking around. Okay, one player dealt with, removed from the side. Chichu can't be asleep at the wheel into that spot. He's got the supplementary util at least to try and help him out. The Salvos, so there's no pushback, but there's a pull into their face and they're all blind as anything. Spamming away, vulnerable done. Can the judge even save you here? It's Nats making a good go. My God, they put him into a bloody blender.
EDG, though, still coming out with the results in the midst of all of that chaos. The shock into the pool felt like it should have been able to kill both of those EDG defenders. And that gamble of going, as you had pointed out, for the force buy, I mean, it was such a bad force.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the HUD bugged out.
It was such
I genuinely,
a bad force.
I didn't want to comment on it because I didn't think that they would actually go for that.
Like one of the camo half bought, some of the others had full armor ghost.
Brother, they're losing the plot. Don't bring out the goo. This, I mean, dude, come on. First match.
It does kind of feel like Team Liquid are losing it here.
Yeah. Please do not bring out the Elmas. Camo, kills to be found. Oh my. Simon, can you save the day? Put up a bit of a stand against this one. Cuts it up close. My God, the smoke was just blooming.
The hero rifle's actually, it's doing it. The fact that Camo saved on the previous round now gives him the Bulldog that might win them round 15.
Just soon, apparently, still Chichu. Cuts it up to the side there, and Kiku. Just taking a few bullets stray. Camo not long behind him. 10-5, EDG steamrolling.
It's a gamble from Liquid. When they go down 8-5, deciding to go for the force, not willing to go down by 4, and now they're down by 5 because the risk, the gamble did not pay off. I don't understand what the read is there necessarily. They must have thought that nobody was playing tucked up over towards double doors.
Some interesting moments.
Yeah, some bizarre moments in this one. 5 to 10. Can they pull this lead back a little? Feels like EDG are running away with it.
What's the buy even looking like? I mean, at least Nats has the ult, so danger in the hands of these Team Liquid players, but Kankai's immediately just taking out Paddy. Up over towards A main, moving a potential position to play in. Rejoining and regrouping with the rest of his team. EDG have got that pack mentality now, looking to clear the way out through mid. Nobody's alone, essentially, taking this fight. I mean, they all are, man.
This is the spike just dropped in the middle of mid. Team Liquid have got a decent read on the fact that B is being played for retake. They should have that info. They've seen it on the pistol. They've seen it kind of by dying at double doors and dying in art. And yet, not really respecting EDG's ability to fight in mid.
No.
The Liquid players have talked before about having a feel for the game. And when they feel like they've got the rhythm of what's going on, they get the timings, they feel good, they feel confident, they're playing together. Here, this round was an example of the exact opposite.
Yeah, they're not quite hearing the drums, are they?
Nats is going to give it a go, but there's 15 seconds. It's not even possible to get the spike out.
Exactly.
But, I mean, Nats has got a free gun, so you might as well.
Look a bit flashy into the tail end of the round.
His own slow betraying him there, though, from the Tour de Force, and it's looking like a bit of a limp end to this.
Nobody?
Oh, that's
pulled that one from? Doing tricks on him.
EDG running away with things right now. Team Liquid need to revitalize all of the energy that was in the air for Split. And the way in which that ended, it's been sucked out the room.
There is so much individuality occurring from Team Liquid. And like you said, you know, they feel like when they've got a rhythm and a feel for the flow of the game, they're taking liberties, they're getting quirky with it. Contact walking up, always as a pack usually as well, finding the gaps and timings, but EDG in control.
Tag timeout here for Liquid. The coaches, Lohan, who had such a great result with this team through kickoff. Come up from Tier 2 to Tier 1, Liquid's coach had quite a lot of success at the Tier 2 level with Job Life, and now he's here and has made a resounding success out of this Liquid team in terms of getting them to Masters Bangkok, but they desperately need his input now. Their ideas on the attack side are not working, they're not finding the space that they're looking for, and their contacty style that they've been loving to run with on attack is just getting shut down by EDG, essentially holding angles against them. Kang's got his dimensional drift to work with here too. So 5 rifles for EDG, as you can see, only 2 available for Liquid. And that's with Nats forcing up, by the way. Wait, Nats and Camo are going to decide to force.
I don't know what they're doing with their economy.
What are they doing with their eco?
Taking the time out to discuss this one. Of course, it's 11-5, so do you want to try and take it with the thrifty, or do you want to invest fully, but they are half in, half out?
That is so strange, because it's not even like Nats has his ult in the next round. That's a weird one.
I wouldn't hate a full investment when Camo has the dimensional drift.
No. I mean, also, I wouldn't hate just Camo running a shorty, basically, and trying to get a pick.
Going for it. Instead, he's going to be sent straight to the dirt.
Right, that's a nice coordinated play from EDG, though, realizing that this pressure's been coming through B. They clear it out. Defense reclear is good for both teams in that area of the map. Team Liquid, though, not in position to react.
Yeah. Simon. Slightest of jiggle gets the confirmation with that info. Thorns popped off at a moment's notice there. EDG were very much ready for this one now. Turning into the A split with a Cosmic Divide. Splits the way, gives a bit of safety in terms of the plant.
Planted. Taking that back.
And a plant that can't be spammed as well. Very open. Kang looking for information.
Yeah, Cosmic Divide of his own. So sets them up now for the retake. He's trying to spot a few of these players. Hold on, seen one. Not much more past it. Oh my god, what an overextension! And Kamek returns with the fire. There's that trade. Earns a rifle as well, just for his troubles, but the dart dealt with. Chichu. Watchful eye onto a multitude of these players, and he's cleaned up almost single-handedly. This guy running rampant now, and EDG, the safety in numbers. Simon with the defuse, fully sticking this away. The weaponry just not even there for Paditech.
12-5, EDG. A clear difference here in this second half of Pearl. Not even close.
Yeah, it's not.
And Team Liquid are actually going to be able to scramble together a buy here towards the end. That 750 credits that they were keeping in the bank has just been enough. Thanks to getting the plant down. And any kill money that they were able to acquire as well. It's just enough to get Nats a Guardian and Camo light armor rifle. So they haven't completely trolled their economy, but they are going to need 7 rounds in a row. On a half where they haven't even got 1 yet.
Yeah, Sisyphean at best, isn't it? A boulder might just be crushing you. Kang sees it. Dimensional drift though, so okay, Camo's going to be safe here. Spotting out 2 of the players, including the operator. Kang's backing out. Chichu, he was dropped, so that means their setup on B does go down. Team Liquid have cracked this one open. Camo to hold on to the space towards back halls.
Cutting through.
Can't give up too many easy kills. Kang with the operator. It's going to be difficulty in that. Hunter's Fury, Simon just predicts incorrectly. Sidesteps into the wrong direction. Smoggy. It's going to be fading away here. It's a stun with good connection at that. It's going to be onto the second player, but pulls it back in a round. It's going to be the TP to evacuate. Salvo's in through, into back halls. No one able to capitalize just from the player's position. So Team Liquid get the round win and still are alive in this series.
Yoruel ended up being super important there for them to crack into this in the first place. Paditech is running all the way around the world right now to try to get rid of this op. And look at him sprinting around, hoping to find Kang, saving that weapon somewhere. Can he get it? Gets a bullet for his troubles.
Yeah.
I'll tear through.
This has provided a little bit of a cushion for Team Liquid to work with. They're not going to be hurting in terms of their eco. Going to be able to get guns up and online.
1 round at a time is what it takes.
Chichu contesting against the Yoruel is really bold. I think at this point they were just kind of disrespecting Liquid. They'd won 5 rounds in a row on their defense side. They weren't scared of him. So back to the kind of regular defensive setup from EDG. Nobody on B. And I don't mean the player, I mean literally not a soul. Not a soul on B.
I believe it. Getting proactive with the flash on top of it, so no acknowledgement. Oh, it's a blind spot. It's a blind spot, yet still an adjustment. Reactions off the charts from Kangkang.
Oh, that's gross. And they've triple pushed out main as well. So Kiko is alone in mid. Does he get cleared? Does he get pinched?
Here comes the slow squeeze, and he's not aware of that. Snaps to the back of the head. That's execution star from nobody.
And this looks like a sad end for Liquid.
Steel Garden for Steel Garden. See the shorties in play. Armageddon at least, trying to buy some space. Oh my God, Paddy, what the hell are you playing at? Pushing right into the fray, right into the enemy's face. There's two left to stand here. Kamek try and carve out some space alongside Camo, and they've done just that with a couple of kills of their own, but it's just one left to stand. 1v2 Nightfall. No more sound cues. Pure reactions. Just the aim in your eyes that you can lean on and try and rely on. Earns himself the 1 to the 1v1, but Swoggy saves the day, and EDG shut it down before it just gets away. 13-6, 2-0 finish. What an opening here to Masters Bangkok.
I think you're coming away with feeling pretty good about EDG here. Opening game of the Swiss stage, they've showed us 2 different compositions on 2 maps, really making the best use of the break that they had with that earlier finish to Chinese kickoff. Playing good compositions as well, adding more of the Taeho into the mix. And even managing to defeat Liquid on their map pick, completely outclassing them in the second half of Pearl. I think Team Liquid are going to be very upset about this beginning to the Swiss stage. They had their chances of pulling it through the bind, but it slipped through their fingers with that 16-18 scoreline.
Yeah.
The experience on EDG just getting them over the line, with Kangkang and Chishu having a monster match overall.
And as you mentioned as well, that extra time to prep, to really hone a couple of the compositions, the weaker maps. I mean, it's worked out, hasn't it? It's early days yet, of course. I mean, Pearl was not a great map for both Team Liquid and EDG, we were saying in theory, but
actually, I mean, with the changes in the compositions, I'm not feeling too bad about EDG there.
No. A big question mark for me was if Kangkang was going to be playing Yoru at all.
Yeah.
And I think he showcased at least that.
We got to see them play against another team, though, that we know is good at Pearl before you're able to make any real assessments about it. Fun fact as well, that's actually the first time that EDG's even been able to beat Team Liquid.
There you go.
These orgs have gone up against each other, different rosters for Team Liquid in the past, but they were 0-3 all time, including 1 off-season result. So 0-2 in VCT. This is now, as Chishu said in the press conference, this time, it's our turn to win.
Absolutely. I mean, EDG, they might have been tested in their own region, but listen, they came here to play. They have a title to defend at the end of the day. They played like it towards the end of Pearl. I mean, it was just momentum, full control over the state of the game.
It certainly was. I mean, this is one of the rare maps as well where Kiko didn't really come online. Kiko has definitely been Team Liquid's best player in their run, and this one was a quiet map. But I think it's also because it's towards the bottom of their map pool. It's probably the worst map that they're not banning.
To do be like that as well. It's close to begin.
Yeah, I mean, what a beginning. What an amazing beginning to Masters Bangkok. The 16-18 scoreline on Split, that's going to charge up EDG. They've gone, I mean, they're on an undefeated streak in terms of from champs to here.
Absolutely. We're going to set it down to the floor here for the Verizon post-match interview. I believe we have Kangkang ready and waiting.
All right, we are back here again with... Okay, with who? ชื่ออะไร? No, we are back here again with Kangkang. All right, first of all, congratulations for the win. สำหรับวันนี้นะครับผมเราก็มาอยู่กับคังของเรานะฮะบอกเลยว่าเล่นกันเดือดมากๆจริงๆแล้วผมเชื่อว่าหลายๆคนก็น่าจะมีคำถามเยอะเหมือนกันนะครับในการที่จะถามคนผู้นี้นะครับผมสำหรับคำถามแรกครับผมอยากที่จะรู้เหลือเกินครับว่าทางคังเนี่ยครับบอกเลยนะว่าอีเวนต์เนี้ยนะครับเรียกว่า Dawn of the Duelist รุ่งอรุณแห่ง Duelist อยากรู้ครับว่าเขาคิดว่า Duelist คนไหนเก่งที่สุดในการแข่งนี้ครับผม So first question, this whole event is called the Dawn of the Duelist. I would like to know who is the best duelist in this competition in your point of view for this competition.
首先，恭喜康康你们取得了这场比赛的胜利。那我们整一个赛事其实的主题就是决斗序章嘛。那从你的角度来看，你觉得谁是最强的决斗者呢？
我觉得德克应该是最强的决斗，但是你身为一个决斗者，你就要有以下犯上的决心。
I mean, in my point of view, maybe Dirk, but as a duelist, you have that determination to be like, even if I'm the underdog, I have that determination to win.
โอ้สำหรับผมเองนะครับผมก็มองอยู่ว่าเดอร์เกอร์ก็เป็นคนที่เก่งอยู่เหมือนกันนะครับผมแต่อย่างไรก็ตามครับการที่จะเป็นดูเอลิสที่ดีเนี่ยเราจะต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นความตั้งใจนะครับผมและนั่นก็คือสิ่งที่ผมมีนั่นเองนะฮะโอ้โหไม่ธรรมดาไม่ธรรมดา Alright awesome to the next question Kang you mentioned previously that you would want to be champions at one of the Masters to add you to your trophy collection how confident are you after this amazing performance in your match
之前可能提到过说想要再要获得一次大师赛的冠军来进入到我们这个奖杯的这个集收当中嘛那在这一场精彩的比赛过后现在信心如何呢
怎么说呢信心肯定是有的然后能不能拿冠军再看吧对吧
Of course, we are confident, but if we can finally got this trophy, got this championship, we'll see.
ก็นะครับผมสำหรับความมั่นใจนะครับต้องถามก่อนนะครับเพราะเมื่อกี้ผมน่าจะลืมถามคำถามนะครับผมคำถามคือว่าเขาเคยพูดว่ามีความตั้งใจที่จะได้แชมเปี้ยนนะครับผมในรายการมาสเตอร์อีกครั้งหนึ่งเลยถามว่าโหเล่นขนาดนี้เนี่ยมั่นใจขนาดไหนนะครับผมซึ่งความเป็นจริงแล้วเนี่ยคังเขาก็บอกว่าไม่รู้ว่าจะเป็นยังไงเหมือนกันครับผมแต่ค่อนข้างมั่นใจกันเลยทีเดียวนะครับผมนะครับผมอีกหนึ่งคำถาม one last question right and we cannot skip this one สำหรับคำถามสุดท้ายนะครับผมอยากรู้มากเลยใครจะไปคิดเกมแรกเราเล่นไปถึง30 round เลยทีเดียวนะครับอยากรู้ว่าคิดอะไรนะเพราะว่าเอาจริงๆคือเป็นแชมป์เก่ามาด้วยอยากรู้มากเลยว่าไปถึงจุดนั้นเนี่ยคิดอะไร so I don't think we can skip this question the first game it was really intense your performance was great but also your opponent has put up a great fight we went to round 30 I want to know what went through your mind
当然我们绝对不可以错过的一个问题就是在第一张图的时候你打得非常好当然你们的对手也是发挥非常的出色甚至一度到了一共30轮的这种小局嘛那当时什么一个感受呢
我不想管他们到底是什么感受我只想把他们碾碎
Actually during the matchup I actually didn't really want to think about what our opponent is thinking I just want to smash them
โหแปลไงให้ดูดีนะฮะเอาละนะครับคังบอกว่าก็ไม่รู้เหมือนกันนะครับผมคือไม่ได้คิดอะไรมากครับคิดแค่ว่าต้องลุยให้ชนะครับผมand that okay ladies and gentlemen and that is just match number 1 we do have one more left but first of all that was amazing thank you Kang congratulations on your first win and we'll take it back to the break and we'll be right back
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.